to Legacy Wrestling, Episode 1. It is me, Mike Bro. Now, I used to record a ton on the channel, traded in my PC for a Mac, was unaware that TEW is not available on the Mac, found this game called Pro Wrestling Simulator, so we're going to give it a go. Alright, and we're going to start ringside with Mauro Ranallo and Aaron Stevens opening up for Legacy Wrestling. Pyro Blast as the camera circulates amongst the crowd. The camera lands on Mauro and then it shifts to Stevens. Mauro says, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Legacy Wrestling. Welcome to Slam," which is the name of our show. The fans can be seen cheering. "It's been great to be here with you, Mauro. It's going to be great working here again." Mauro then tells Aaron, "Well, I'm glad you're here as well, Aaron, but be that as it may, tonight we have one hell of an introductory course in professional wrestling as Claudio Castanola will be taking on the man they call Brian Cage in the main event of Slam this evening in the first round of the Legacy World Wrestling Championship Tournament." Steven says, "I've been in the ring with Cesaro Claudio, and let me tell you, he is no joke. That man is the epitome of what a professional wrestler should look like." Mauro then adds, "He's been off for a while, but we'll see if he has what it takes. He'd be taking on one of the most skilled, strong, and athletic men in all of professional wrestling, the man they call Cage. He may just be the only wrestler on the planet that is pound for pound stronger than Claudio." Steven says, "I have my doubts, but regardless, this match should be an absolute barn burner and a great way to start off Legacy Wrestling." Alright, so I haven't really played this game much. We got a 75 final score here. Not really sure what this text up here is doing. This looks like it's going to scroll up and down the side. This one's going to go progress to the show. Mauro Ranallo, Aaron Stevens. Looks like they went up a little bit across the world and a 75 overall rating. Let's go to the next segment here. Alright, so next up, let's go ahead and scroll down here. That's not what I want. It does not appear. Next, we have Johnny Gargano's entrance. It says he has a couple popularity games in North America and Europe throughout. It says, "As we shift from the commentary booth, Johnny Gargano, one of if not the most sought after indie darling free agent around, stood up on the ramp to an uproarious ovation. Gargano makes his entrance toward the squared circle, high-fiving each and every fan whose hands comes away, signaling he's en route to becoming one of the greatest Legacy Wrestling's hottest baby faces on the roster." So 62 for Johnny Wrestling. Not great, but not terrible. Alright, we got some popularity boosts here for Johnny Gargano. Alright, the next segment, we have Johnny Gargano and Matt Cross putting up a 4.5-star match. The refereeing work of Drake Younger was good. The announcing work was great. And aside from Matt Cross going down in the Oceania region, it was a nice rating boost overall for Johnny Wrestling and Matt Cross. A 64 final score. And the match quality was 4.5 stars. So two really good workers, not quite over with a lot of the audience yet. So, the crowd was hot, though. We got Johnny Wrestling with the victory here. Johnny Gargano winning the first match here in Legacy. Alright, next up, we see backstage, Killer Kross and Scarlet Bordeaux. The camera is seen winding down the hall as it briefly stops at a distance, seeing Killer Kross and Scarlet Bordeaux. So, not really much going on here. The camera's kind of twirling around the back. We see Scarlet and Killer Kross here in Legacy Wrestling. Popularity boost throughout. The good looks of Scarlet added to the story beat. Yeah, no worries there. That's probably going to happen. Smoke show, as she has designated herself for years on the independent circuit, and the real-life couple here in Legacy Wrestling will be a big part going forward. Alright, next up we get Mickie James. The production quality was good. Well above what was average for the promotion of this size. So I guess my production quality is too high. We're probably going to leave it. The good looks of Mickie James added to the story beat. We got a 95 with Mickie James coming soon. So that's absolutely great. It's just a video of the incoming Mickie James. But a 95. Hey, my first show, honest to God, that I've ever actually booked out here. I spent forever with the graphics and the rosters and stuff. So hey, not too bad. Alright, next up we have Dakota Guy versus Ashley Vox. Drake was good again, announcing elevated the match. A 3-star, 58%. The crowd was red hot. We got up throughout all the regions. I'm wondering if, because our country's only regional and I have a couple, I have quite a few workers who can actually wrestle, that is going to boost it for a little bit until my popularity in the regions catch up. But I'll take it. I mean, fake it till you make it, right? Alright, so see, I'm having a problem scrolling past that on the side. So just don't look at the side, just look at the center. Alright, 58 here. Next up, we see a video showing CommonRazar 100%. Not really sure how. The production quality was well above what would be expected. Again, I have a really low, I think I'm like a 25 in North America for my popularity is what I gave myself. So I'm pretty sure that's why my absolute ratings are this high. But I'll go ahead and take it. So the Authors of Pain, a 100 final score. All right, next up, we see Marshall Von Eriks backstage with his brother Ross and Vita Scott, who is the announcer in the back. We're going to go ahead and get into it here. The Von Eriks, the camera finds them backstage as Vita Scott is holding a microphone. She says, "Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to bring to all of you two new wrestlers whose family is synonymous with professional wrestling, Marshall and Ross, the Von Eriks." Marshall and Ross walk up and shake Vita's hands. Vita says, "Marshall, Ross, thanks for your time," in which Ross says, "Hey, we're happy to be here." Vita says, "And I know all the Legacy fans are happy to have you guys as well." Guys, with the Legacy Wrestling debuting here tonight with the emphasis on tag team wrestling, what does that mean for the Von Eriks? The storied Von Eriks. They look at one another as the younger Marshall goes and begins to speak. Marshall says, "I'm going to take this one, big bro." Ross nods. He says, "When Legacy Wrestling was starting here, we knew that the social media footprint was huge. And Eric, we had to bring the Von Eriks name back to the forefront. And with this new project's newness begets opportunity." Marshall says, "And with opportunity," what does he say? "With opportunity comes knocking, the Von Eriks come calling. We are here in Legacy Wrestling to win gold and make our family proud, and that's exactly what we're going to do." Marshall nods to Ross, who nods back, walking away from Vita, who says, "Morrow, back to you." Scene fades out with the Von Eriks making their stamp here in Legacy Wrestling. A 65 overall. We got popularity boosts, as you can see, throughout the countries. The good looks of Vita Scott added to the story beat. All right, next up, we have Insanity. Axel, Tesher, and Big Damo taking on Darren Kearney and Nathan Martin. More than hype. Axel with a victory here. 57, 3.5 stars. The crowd was on their feet. Not much going on in this match other than a solid tag team wrestling match. I'm a huge fan of tag team wrestling, for those of you who have followed my NXT The Game series, so expect a lot of the similar here. Again, I believe, I'm not sure, for those of you wrestling pro wrestling similar, you can go and let me know. I believe it's up 3.5 stars because of the overness of the workers versus the size of the company. All right, next up, we see the former Bo Dallas, Taylor Tundra, backstage with Vita Scott. All right, let's go ahead and get into that promo here. We see the camera shifting backstage to show Taylor Rotunda. He says, "Taylor, welcome," in which Taylor responds, "Thanks for having me." Vita says, "Taylor, this is the first time since your release from the E 2 years ago that you've done something to professional wrestling. 2 years ago that you've done something to professional wrestling landscape. Why now and why Legacy?" Taylor simply nods. "You see, Vita, it's simple. I've been sitting back vying for the right time to return, but let's be honest. I had to get my mind right. I had to get my body right. And I did it for myself, my family, and my fans. Not only my fans. The fans pop." Taylor fights back, pushing back a few laughs, but he says, "Who am I kidding? I did this for myself and my family." "Absolutely," says Taylor, "but the fans? Ha! I did not do this. I did not do this for the fans. Where were my fans when I was struggling? They didn't believe. They left me high and dry," of course, playing off of the Bo Dallas catchphrase. He then finishes, and now that everything is back on track, they can just stay high and dry. Taylor Rotunda is back in professional wrestling, and Taylor Rotunda is here to finish what he started. You can believe that. Again, he wants you to believe, making fun of Roman Reigns here. Popularity across the beats here. Taylor Rotunda is interviewed by Vita Scott. The looks of Vita Scott added to the story beat again. An 86 overall with Taylor Rotunda and Vita Scott. Next up, we have Morrow and Aaron Stevens back at the ringside area, in which they say, as if tonight has not been enough, we get to the main event. We've just been given a heads up that the main event for next week is going to be dun 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 dun. It's going to be a main event featuring an over-the-top battle royal to crown the first ever Legacy United States Championship. So Morrow says, "Absolutely incredible. Legacy Wrestling is wasting no time." We fade. So what we're doing here, 78 overall. We got popularities across, of course, Morrow and Aaron Stevens, my announcing group. What we're doing is the United States Championship Battle Royal to crown champion. As you saw earlier, we have that World Championship tournament. We have the World Championship, the United States Championship, Tag Team Championship, and the Women's Championship. That's what we're going to stick with out the gate. All right, nothing too crazy. Next up, we have Claudio Castanola with a 64 coming to the ring. The entrance added to the segment. Claudio's, he's not huge on entertainment. He's a great wrestler, a decent talker, but he's not really big on the entertainment side of things. So, he's not going to really aid himself too much in there. Hoping Brian Cage does a little bit better. 85, he eludes a lot of star power, intimidation. He's fun. All right, now we have Brian Cage and Claudio Castanola in the first round of the Legacy World Championship Tournament. And they're going to give us a 65 3-star. The crowd was red hot. The refereeing work of Mike Chioda was good. The announcing work was great. Popularity all around. So I'll go ahead and take it. Let's see what our final score is, which I'm guessing is what we're going to get here. Our final show rating is a 67. Not bad. We gain 0.20 in North America, Latin America, Europe, Asia, Oceania, and Africa. As you can see, this is the rundown of the show, of the card. It's actually a little bit easier to read here. So I'm wondering... No, we'll keep it the way we're doing it. We'll figure it out. There's not really an easy way to do it, but, you know, we're going to go and stick with it. This was Legacy Slam Episode 1. Thanks for watching. I think I'm going to put all these episodes up concurrently, and then we'll see what we get going forward. But stay with me. We're going to, you know, it's going to be a little rough out the gate as we figure out how to record this versus TEW and how the format and the actual layout of the game is going to aid into it. But until next time, it is me, Mikey Bro, wishing you a glorious rest of your day, and we'll be back shortly with Legacy Slam Episode 2. Thanks, guys.